Well, hello and welcome back to math class. Today our lesson is going to be 9.3, so if you can write that down for me, and it's called Measures of Center. So measures of center is a measure that describes the typical value of a data set. The mean is one form of center, and then you did that last week, and then this week we're going to talk about the median and the mode. These are going to be review lessons because these are things you've already been doing with your teacher in class. So a short definition of the mean would be it's the average. It's where you add them all up and then you divide. The median is known as the middle number once we put them in order, and the mode is the number that's listed the most. So quick short definitions. All right, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is the median. So if you would write down the word median, and if you would list the numbers that I've listed here, I've already put them in order: 5, 8, 9, 12, and 14. Median would be our middle number. So as I work my way to the middle, I notice that the median is 9. Now, if you notice the next list of numbers that I've given to you, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, an even set of numbers. So if I work my way to the middle, like this, to find the median, I will notice I'm left with 2 numbers. For a median, we can't list both numbers. Some of us can see exactly what goes in between 5 and 7. Sometimes the numbers are going to be too far apart. They're not going to be close to each other. And if that happens, you take your 2 numbers like this, you add them together, and then you would divide them by 2 because we have 2 numbers, and you would find out that your median would be 6. So my median would be 6. Even though the number 6 is not listed, it is considered the median of my data. All right, so the next thing we're going to write in our notes is the word mode, and we're going to list all of these numbers: 11, 13, 15, 15, 18, 21, 24, and 24. Mode, if you recall from up above in our notes, is the number that's listed the most. Well, if you notice, I have 2 modes. 15 is listed twice and 24. So it is possible to have 2 modes. And so I would list my modes as 15 and 24. If 24 was only listed once, then obviously I would only have 1 mode. All right, so I've made a little chart here very quickly. You don't have to write the chart down in your notes, but I would like for you to take these 10 numbers and put them in order from least to greatest in your notes. Okay, put them in order from least to greatest. All right, if you haven't finished, go ahead and pause your video so you get the opportunity to put them in order. Otherwise, let's check to see how you did. All right, you can check your screen. Make sure you put them in order from least to greatest. Make sure you have a total of 10 numbers. Once you have all 10, we're going to practice. I want you to find the median, and I want you to find the mode. All right, well, the mode for me is probably the easiest because I can see right here 160 is listed twice, and there isn't any other number. So I know that the mode is 160. The median, as I work my way in like this to find the middle, I will notice that I have two numbers. If I can see what comes between 135 and 145, then I can list the median. Otherwise, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say 135 plus 145 equals 280. I'm adding two numbers together, so if I take that and I divide by 2, my answer is going to be 140. And so there's my median. All right, so the numbers I have listed here actually are numbers according to a bug eating contest. These are the amount of bugs that were eaten in a competition. What I would like for you to do is take these numbers, first of all, put them in order. So you need to list them in order from least to greatest. Once you have them in order, I want you to find three things. We're going to find all of the measurements. We're going to find the mean, the median, and finally the mode. All right, go ahead. You may go ahead and add these up to find your mean, your median, and your mode. All right, so if you notice, I put the numbers here in order for you. If you added all of these numbers up, when I added them all up together, I got a score of 203. However, I have to divide it by 7 numbers, so my final score was 29 for my mean. My median, as I work my way to the middle to find the median, was 33. And the mode, the number that was listed the most, was 34. Now, some of you noticed we had something called an outlier. An outlier is a number that's very different, and it's way far away from the rest of the numbers that I've listed. If you notice, my outlier was 2. This person who ate only 2 bugs was very lower in bugs than the rest of the group. So this would be my outlier. If I took this outlier out and added them up to find the mean, median, mode, do you think my numbers would change? Well, as a matter of fact, I'm going to write over here without outlier. If you would add all of these numbers and divide them by 6, since I have only 6 numbers, your mean is going to actually be this, 33 5/10. My median is also going to change because now I only have 6 numbers, and if I notice, my median would come right in between here, and that's going to be 33 5/10. But my mode would still be 34. So if you notice, with the outlier being taken out, there were 2 numbers that were affected, and that was my mean and my median. My mode did not change. All right, well, the last thing I'd like to show you, as you can see, is obviously from your textbook. You do not need to write this down, but you need to know that it is in your book in case you have to do a sample like this. The example here says, use the data to answer the statistical question, how much do climbing shoes cost? Find the mean, median, and mode of the data, then answer the question by creating a dot plot. So here's our shoes with our prices. If I'm going to find the mean, we know we have to add all of the prices up. And so if you notice in our book, here's how we did the mean. Put all the shoes, add them up, divided by 8, because there's 8 values, and the average price is $68.50. The median, if I look here and try and find my middle number, I have two numbers, 57 and 65. It's not as easy to find the middle with those two, so I'm going to have to add those two together and divide by 2, and I found out that the median would actually be 61. The mode is to look at the numbers and see which price is listed the most. Well, the mode is obviously 40. It's listed twice. Now, the next thing we did is we made a dot plot. You notice my dot plot looks like this. I've counted by tens to make it a little bit easier for the number line. We put dots for all of the prices of the shoes that are represented. The mode obviously was 40. I labeled the median. The median we found out was 61. 61 would be right there. We don't have a dot for that one because that's not an actual value. And the mean is 68 and 5/10. 68 and 5/10 would be about right there. Now, when you look at the dots that are on your dot plot, you can notice that some of the values are represented a little bit, let's see, the word I'm looking for is, well, let me see. Mode is obviously way down here. It's the furthest away from all your values. So if I notice the mode is less than most of my dots. And the mean, if you notice, it's greater than most of my dots. So to me, the median would represent my data the most. So if I had to choose between one of these three, saying which one represents my dot or data, I would say that the median represents my data the most because it's kind of right here in the mix of my dots. So climbing shoes cost about $61 is what I would say, just because that is closer to my data. Once again, the mode was way over here. It doesn't represent all of my dots very well. The mean, even though that's the average, the mean, if you notice, the arrow comes about right here. And if you notice, it's kind of at the higher end of my dots. But the median is right here in the middle, representing most of my dots. So if somebody would say, what is the best cost or the average cost for shoes? I would say that my median represents this data the best. All right, you guys can go ahead and close up your notebook and follow directions from your teacher.